Welcome back to Superbly Said Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
Yeah, great to be back. And today, we're looking at some really useful advanced phrases. These actually come straight from a SpeakDuo lesson.
That's right, and listeners can always check out SpeakDuo.com. It's a great place to meet people and, practice your English speaking on video calls. Really build that confidence.
Definitely worth doing. So let's dive into these phrases. First up, to unwind.
To unwind. Good one. So what's the core idea here?
Well, it means to relax, basically. But it's different from just saying relax, isn't it?
It is. Unwind specifically suggests relaxing after you've been, stressed or working hard. Think of uncoiling, letting that tension go.
Exactly. It's that after part that's key. So if someone asked, what's your favorite way to unwind after a busy week?
You might say something like, oh, I love cooking something special, and maybe listening to some calm music. That's unwinding.
Perfect. Okay, next phrase, fulfilling.
Fulfilling. Now, this sounds a bit like satisfying, but again, there's a nuance.
Right. Satisfying can be, having a good meal, but fulfilling, that feels deeper somehow.
It really does. It means something makes you happy and satisfied because it feels meaningful. It connects to your purpose, maybe?
Yeah, purpose is a good word for it. So you could say, teaching can be a very fulfilling career.
Or volunteering at the animal shelter really fulfills me. It gives you more than just simple pleasure.
Got it. Okay, moving on. To take up time or to take up space?
Right. This one's about occupation, essentially. Using time or space.
So how's that different from, say, spend time?
Well, take up time often implies that it's consuming time. Maybe time you could have used for other things. It has a slightly more consuming feel.
Okay, yeah, I see that. Like it fills that time slot.
Exactly. For instance, work has been taking up most of my evenings lately. It implies you don't have much evening time left.
Or a student might say, my university projects have really been taking up my time. Lots of hours going into those projects.
Precisely. Okay, number 4. The idiom to keep someone on their toes.
I like this one. It sounds active.
It is. It means to make someone stay alert and ready for anything that might happen.
So not just make someone cautious, it's more dynamic than that?
Yeah, definitely more dynamic. Cautious sounds a bit defensive. On your toes suggests you need to be ready to react, often because things are unpredictable.
Like kids. Working with children really keeps you on your toes.
Absolutely. Or if someone asks you, who keeps you on your toes?
You might answer, my younger sister. She's always full of surprises. Keeps you guessing.
Yes. Okay, next. To take a step back.
This sounds like pausing.
It is, but it's a specific kind of pause. It means pausing to get some perspective on a situation, often when you feel overwhelmed or too involved.
So different from just reflecting. Reflecting could be quite calm, maybe, right?
It could be. Taking a step back often implies you need to detach temporarily to see the bigger picture, maybe reassess priorities, because things feel too intense up close.
Right. Creates a bit of distance.
Exactly. Like when I feel overwhelmed at work, I take a step back to see what really matters. You're removing yourself slightly to gain clarity.
Makes sense. Okay, how about to go by fast? Or that went by fast?
This one's pretty common in conversation, I think. It just means time seems to pass quickly.
Yeah, much more natural sounding than saying time passed quickly, right?
Totally. Very conversational. You might say, wow, the summer vacation went by fast.
Or, after a great weekend, my weekend trip to Paris went by too fast. Expresses that feeling of enjoyment making time fly.
Definitely. Okay, 2 more. To hear through the grapevine.
The grapevine. So, this is about how you learn something?
Yes, specifically, it means you heard news or rumors indirectly through informal channels, not an official announcement.
So it's different from just hearing a rumor? This idiom really points to the source, doesn't it? The informal network.
It does. It highlights that indirect, person-to-person spreading of information. Like, I heard through the grapevine that they're moving abroad.
Or maybe about work stuff. I heard through the grapevine that Sarah might be getting that promotion. It wasn't announced, you just heard it.
Exactly. And the last one, to go hand in hand with something.
Hand in hand suggests connection.
A very close connection. It means two things naturally go together or are intrinsically linked. They often coexist.
So stronger than just saying they are related?
Much stronger, I'd say. Related could be distant. Hand in hand implies they almost always appear together. One often brings the other.
Okay, like creativity often goes hand in hand with curiosity.
Good one. Or in a discussion about leadership qualities. I think empathy and confidence go hand in hand with good leadership. You need both together.
Right, they complement each other, naturally.
Okay, so those are our 8 phrases. Ready for a quick quiz to check our understanding?
Let's do it, test ourselves.
All right, question 1. What does to unwind mean? Is it A, to relax after a period of stress or activity, B, to speed up after completing a slow task, or C, to disconnect emotionally from a situation?
Feel free to pause if you need a moment to think about to unwind.
And the answer is...
A, to relax after a period of stress or activity.
Oh, yeah, remember that idea of shedding the tension after a busy week, like you're consciously relaxing. That's to unwind. Exactly. Question 2. If something is fulfilling, it is A, satisfying because it feels meaningful or rewarding, B, difficult but necessary for personal growth, or C, exciting because it offers constant novelty.
Thinking about fulfilling, what's the core feeling?
The answer is A, satisfying because it feels meaningful or rewarding.
Right, that deeper sense of purpose we talked about, like a fulfilling career or meaningful volunteer work.
Perfect. Question 3. To take up time or space means to A, reserve something for later use, B, eliminate unnecessary time or clutter, or C, occupy or use a certain amount of time or area.
What happens when something takes up your time? Take a sec.
Okay, the answer here is C, occupy or use a certain amount of time or area.
Yep, like those university projects taking up all your evenings, consuming that time.
Got it. Question 4. If someone keeps you on your toes, they A, encourage you to take more risks, B, make you stay alert and ready for anything, or C, prevent you from taking responsibility.
Keeps you on your toes. What state does that put you in?
The answer is B, make you stay alert and ready for anything.
Like working with kids or that unpredictable younger sister, always ready for the next surprise. That's being on your toes.
That's the one. Question 5. To take a step back means to A, withdraw completely from participation, B, return to the beginning of a project, or C, pause to gain perspective on a situation.
Why would you take a step back? Pause if you need to.
And the answer is C, pause to gain perspective on a situation.
Right. That necessary detachment when things get overwhelming. Stepping back to see the bigger picture at work, for example.
Exactly. Question 6. If time goes by fast, it means A, it seems to pass quickly, B, it moves slowly due to lack of excitement, or C, it stops because of constant interruptions.
Pretty conversational one. Goes by fast.
The answer is A, it seems to pass quickly.
Yeah, like that wonderful weekend trip to Paris that went by too fast.
Wish it hadn't. Okay, question 7. To hear through the grapevine means to A, confirm facts directly from an official source, B, learn information indirectly through rumors, or C, refuse to listen to gossip or speculation.
Remember the source when you hear something through the grapevine.
The answer is B, learn information indirectly through rumors.
Definitely, it's that unofficial, informal network, hearing about promotions or moves before they're announced. That's the grapevine.
Last question, number 8. If two things go hand in hand, they A, occur by coincidence without connection, B, naturally occur or exist together, or C, compete with each other for attention.
Go hand in hand? What's the relationship? Think about it.
And the final answer is B, naturally occur or exist together.
Yeah, that strong intrinsic connection, like creativity and curiosity, or empathy and confidence and leadership, often going hand in hand.
Whew, how did everyone do? Hopefully, that quiz helps solidify those meanings.
Yeah, understanding these nuances really does elevate your English, makes it sound much more natural and sophisticated.
Absolutely. And the best way to really get comfortable with them is to use them.
Couldn't agree more. So we definitely encourage listeners to head over to SpeakDuo.com. You can practice these very phrases and many more in actual conversations with people from all over the world.
It's the perfect place to put this knowledge into action. Thanks for joining us on Superly Said.
We'll catch you next time for another deep dive into advanced English.